Is there anybody there?
All right. Well, welcome everybody to yet another episode of the Dad Hat Chronicles. My name is Ed, also known as the Dad Hat. With me, I got my co-host wearing an awesome Dad Hat. Look at you, Val. What are you wearing today?
This is actually new, brand new. The logo's not official yet. Just testing it out, but it's a Stadium Food Girl logo.
Look at on a 47 cleanup.
Yes.
Yo, look at that.
Logo, you know, the way I like.
Okay. All right, girl. I love it. All right. So obviously everybody knows you as the Stadium Food Girl. Besides the hat, how are we living, girl?
I'm doing great. It's a Monday, favorite day of the week. Ready to hit the week strong with our show tonight.
Let's go. All right. So with me, guys, I got two. We're getting lucky today. We get two people from one team. I'm excited about this. Okay. I'm going to start with Brad Bisbing. He is in cool title, Assistant General Manager for the Buffalo Bisons. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. Thanks for having us on the show.
Absolutely. And also we have Allie Marcano. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yes. Allie is the head graphic designer for the Buffalo Bisons. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Oh, just excited, this little thing you got going on with this little design that you guys put together here for the COPA. It's very exciting, but we're going to talk about that here. But let's get back here to, I want to start with you, Brad, and then, bring you in, Val. How did you get started in baseball? Obviously, you are at right below right there at Major League Baseball, AAA with Buffalo Bisons. How'd you get started, my friend?
Actually, I did a couple of years in radio, went to school for broadcast journalism, and I didn't really like the radio thing. It wasn't like building anything, so I wanted to try something different. But at the end of the day, I was a stat junkie. I'm a numbers guy. I love baseball stats. I love how many different stats they are, and real affinity to baseball stats. And had a good friend working at the Bisons, and introduced me to some people. Actually introduced me to the head of marketing at the time, and I told him that I could figure out the batting average pretty quick, and he tested me on a couple, and I got him right, and turned out he hired me, and then he resigned in a couple of months, and there was an opening in marketing and PR, and they kept throwing stuff at me. I kept saying yes. So 20 years later, still with the same organization, an absolutely great organization we have in Buffalo. A lot of staff members have been there 20, 25, 30 years. And, it's a great team, Allie included, that we have in Buffalo that make the long seasons a lot of fun. So love being in Buffalo.
That's awesome. I love it. And how about you, Allie? How'd you get started doing all this?
Yeah, so I'm originally from New York City, actually. And
Okay.
so I was born and raised there. And then I went and played college softball over at Coastal Carolina. So I played softball my entire life, really loved baseball, grew up going to baseball games with my parents, and it was a lot of fun. And then I also played softball for the junior national team for Team Puerto Rico. So that's how
Whoop.
that's how I tie in with like my Puerto Rican roots. My dad is Puerto Rican, so I really tie in with the culture and everything. So taking on this project was a lot of fun for me. So
That's right. So you're a Chanticleer.
I am, yes.
Yeah, see, I know my college too. All right. So, Val, I want to. Do you have any questions here? Because
I was gonna ask about Allie's background because I had done some research and I saw the softball resume and I was like, wow, this is cool. And our very own Ed probably feels a connection there with the Puerto Rico, the background there. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right away. I mean, and it's I'm very excited about this, right? Because and I've told my friends, I told anybody that is willing to listen to me talk about this is by far one of my absolute favorite Copa brand logos. Like, I mean, it is. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. This is like, as soon as it came out, I said this is right at the top, right? When it comes to the coquis, right? And then you got the with Buffalo, right? You guys have what the Luces, the Buffalo, right? And guys, talk to me a little bit about why did you guys decide to bring this specific design and this logo to Buffalo?
Well, we wanted to join Copa for a couple of years, and we were, actually some of the groundwork was in 18, 19, and all these things you have to when you having a new logo, you have to plan almost 2 seasons in advance.
Yep.
And we were just about kind of finalizing it, and then the pandemic happened, and we lost the 2020 season. And for Copa anyway, it was a blessing in disguise because it wasn't Luces before the pandemic. It was I don't I'm trying to remember. I'm not even sure what it was, but we were picking from other names, and then we regrouped and I rebuilt my staff and was lucky enough to find a very talented graphic artist in Allie who joined our team when we came back in 2022 and restarted those conversations with we're working very closely with the Western New York Hispanic Heritage Council, as well as some longtime season ticket holders and fans for their input as well. And so, we wanted it to be authentic. And, Buffalo's got a lot of monikers, so to speak, the City of Good Neighbors, the Queen City, Nickel City, things like that. But the City of Light is also one of the things we're known for. And that springs from the 1901 Pan American Exposition, or the World's Fair. That was actually in Western New York. It was in Buffalo. The World's Fair in 1901 came to Buffalo, and it was the celebration. The World's Fair was a twofold. It was one, back then Buffalo was one of the first cities in the country, even in the world, that widely accepted the use of electricity, and we had Niagara Falls, and we had the power there. So that's kind of how we had got the moniker City of Light, was from the World's Fair. But it's also during a time where it was to celebrate all those world fairs had been happening over in Europe and on the other side of the world, and then it comes here to Western New York and comes here to North America. So it was a celebration of not just North America, but also Central and South America, the emerging cultures, and celebrating all the great cultures throughout the Western Hemisphere. So that it was a long celebration. It's not like festivals now that are a week or 2 weeks. It was like 6, 7, 8 months here in Buffalo, and people from around the world came to Buffalo to see the electricity, to see the light, and to see these great cultures. So that's how we came to City of Light, the Luces. That's how we came to the name Luces. And then now I'll turn it over because we had the name and we needed the what the design was. So
Right.
I told Allie, it's Luces de Buffalo. It's kind of what we all agreed on, and she was obviously a part of that as well. And then we said, all right, what's it going to look like, Allie? And as a great graphic designer, she went to work.
No pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's a name. Figure it out after that.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to dig deep into the roots of like Puerto Rican culture and everything. So I did a lot of research, and a lot of the research it tied back to Taino. So the Taino, his heritage, everything, and it kind of expanded through all of like the Caribbean and also South America. So I figured this was a little more inclusive for other cultures as well. So I wanted something that everybody could be a part of too. And so when I think of light, I was like, all right, let me dig deep, and two and two came together. So it was a lot of fun to do. And then I also incorporated like the buffalo flag in there just to emphasize like the light. So it was pretty cool.
I love it. First of all, obviously the Taino symbol for sol, right? So the sun. And I think that's a beautiful design. I mean, I if I didn't believe it, and I wouldn't have it tattooed on my arm. So, and it's, you're right though, right? Because a lot of people think the Taino is just for one area, but it's not. It's throughout the Caribbean, like you said, South America, Central America. So it expands it all over in that area, which I think it's very inclusive, and I love it a lot. So let me ask you this, why those colors? Why those specific colors? As far as the design process when you decided to finalize everything?
Yeah, so I know we wanted to do like a brand new look, kind of just kind of get away from our red and blue. So I went with yellow for light, just because kind of emphasize the lightness of it. And then I went with teal just because of water. Our electricity comes from the water, so I wanted to emphasize, that's where the water's coming from, which is therefore why we have the teal brim. So
That's pretty cool.
Love that. It's the little details, It's like it's not blue because or teal because it's just teal, but then when you go into it, it just adds a little more oomph to the hat.
That's right. Exactly. I'm like, oh, so and it's funny because you say I wanted to get away from the red and blue, which you could have used that dark blue that you already have, but it's like no, we want to go different, and you use the lighter shade with the teal, and it's like, yeah, it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense when you put it all together, like you were saying, Val. Oh, man, this thing is just.
Yeah, I'm looking at it up close too.
I'm on the shop. I'm on the website right now trying to figure out
the lightning bolts. Can I ask what are the three the circles in the middle of the logo?
So the lightning bolts around that comes actually directly from our buffalo flag. So the buffalo flag has lightning bolts all the way around it. And
Okay.
then the traditional Taino symbol is kind of just like one simple line. So I kind of just wanted to emphasize, like, give it a little extra couple lines, kind of make it different, put my own twist on it. So it was just kind of just an extra design, kind of make it a little different. So
no, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, no, I think it looks like it's trying to warm me up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little, emotional right now with this logo. So I just wanted to put that out there. I might cry later. I'm not gonna lie. I might cry later. So, but how has the public reacted to this specific Copa brand, in your community?
Yeah, I'll speak to that. I think it's gone over tremendously well. We've had 2 games already, and our big one's still to come on September 6th. That's the first Friday in September. Is the last few years has been our Hispanic Heritage Night with the Hispanic Heritage Council. And we have a former great player, Carlos Garcia, who played for the Pirates for a while, All-Star. He's coming back as a part of that. He's a Western New York native. He's going to be a part of that, and the proof is in just walking in the concourse, and you see people wearing the hats all over the place. I was at the grocery store the other day, literally yesterday or 2 days ago, and seeing someone walking in as I walked out with the hat on, and I just, that really makes all that hard work, the 2 years that we put in building it, and obviously all the work that Allie did putting in it. I mean, that's just awesome to see, and the best part is now we're launched. Now we are Luces de Buffalo for the first year, and it's only going to grow in the future years as well as more and more of that awareness, not only of our brand but of the Copa games, and more and more we'll be back for 3 games next year as well.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, use it as much as possible.
And the players too. The players absolutely love it. You see the guys, they all have batting practice hats, and then when they go out for batting practice, it's not those. It's these caps that they're wearing, and players are. We saw some players the last game. They got special shoes to match. One of our players was wearing the yellow shoes and had yellow batting gloves, and they've really taken to it as well.
The yellow shoes.
I know. I was just thinking the same thing. Like the batting gloves too. On top of that, like
they went all out for it. They even bought like the tape around the wrist. They bought teal tape, everything. Like all of them came up to me like, "This is the coolest hat I've ever seen." Like the players love it so much. They're like, "We want to wear this every day."
and that makes me happy, right? Like as a Hispanic person, right? And not just with you guys, right? But throughout, like, minor league baseball, the way that the Copa has taken off, right? I mean, it's a sense of pride for a lot of people, and it's all over minor league baseball, right? So it could be totally something different on the West Coast, on the South, where you guys are at. So everybody's embracing it, and the fact that the players are also buying into this, it makes it even much of a bigger impact on the community, because you can tell that level of pride when they put it on.
For sure. And the other thing I failed to mention that I think that you'll get a kick out of or enjoy, it's interesting that we launched it this year, because come to find out, this is the anniversary of a very special event in baseball. 70 years ago this year, Roberto Clemente got his first professional hit, and that first hit was in Buffalo. It was
Wow.
actually in Buffalo, playing for the Montreal Royals. He played, and I think it was the second game of a doubleheader, and he got his first pro hit in Buffalo, and it was the anniversary of that earlier this year. So we did something special around that as well, and pretty fitting that the cap came out this year when we had that anniversary.
Oof, that just gave me chills. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought it would.
That just gave me chills. I mean, he's one of my baseball heroes. I mean,
sure.
If you're Puerto Rican, listen. If you don't know who if you're anybody, if you don't know who Roberto Clemente is, something wrong with you. You got to get checked out, because that man, what he did off the field was, I think he, in my opinion, greater than what he did on the field. So,
for sure, yeah, truly a special player in the history of baseball. And there's a barbershop here in Western New York that has a giant mural of him up as well. And we post for Buster with some photos wearing the Luces stuff in front of it as part of our launch as well. So his impact still today, and he's still a hero to many baseball fans.
Okay, so I want to get to about you guys, right? And then I'll start with you, Allie, because and then obviously Val was doing some research on you as well. Tell us about your softball career. I mean, listen, that's pretty cool to play in Division I collegiate softball. That's no small feat, girl.
Yeah, so I played Division I softball for Coastal Carolina. And so I played there. And then what happened was my senior year ended up being when COVID hit. So I couldn't do my senior year there. So I actually transferred to University at Buffalo. So that's how I ended up in Buffalo. And then I just finished my softball career there. They were also Division I. And then I did play overseas. I played for Team Puerto Rico since I was like 13. So I've been playing there for a very long time. And I actually won a bronze medal with them in 2017. So.
Wow. What a resume.
Right?
What a resume. Bronze medal. I mean, that's insane. It's just, wow. And then, of course, your love for softball brought you where you are today, which is, I mean, the stars really aligned there with that life.
Oh, yeah. And then it's fun, too. Like, anytime we have, fun, baseball camps or kind of Miracle Leagues, things like that. I love helping out with the kids and stuff like that. And sometimes they look at me like, oh, you're a girl throwing a baseball. I'm like, yep.
That's right.
So
what position did you play, by the way?
I was a pitcher.
Pitcher. Wow. Hey, listen, I don't care what anybody says. Fast pitch, I can't. There's no way. I am so bad. That's why I play soft pitch. Just leave me there because I suck.
I was gonna say we have an annual tradition at the Bisons where the staff takes on the interns every year, and the interns were getting pretty tough, so I had to bring in a ringer and hire Allie. So last couple of years, it hasn't been much of a contest with us having a ringer on our team.
That's pretty cool.
Allie, did you start off as an intern or how did you? So after graduation, University of Buffalo, you were just trying to continue with graphic design, or?
Yeah, so I actually, prior to the Bisons, I was a designer for Citibank. And so I was there for a bit, and then I saw an ad pop up for the Bisons. And so I applied because I was like, the worst that they do is say no. So I applied, and the rest is history. So I'm really thankful for all of it.
Here's my little hockey thing. It's like Wayne Gretzky says, you miss every shot you don't take. So, I mean.
Yep.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, you're working in baseball. You're doing two things that you love, right? Working in baseball and graphic design. I mean, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
It's a dream job right here. I love it.
I bet.
Now, do you get to, and Brad, don't get me, don't, I'm going to get to you right here in a second, my friend. But Allie, do you also do other things within the team, right? Do you work on any other projects that are coming up or anything like that? Without having to say anything, obviously. But do you do other things within the team as well?
Yeah, so I actually operate the video board during games. So all the visual entertainment that you see, that's what I control. I work with our entertainment coordinator. Her name is Amanda, and we kind of just work on the game day experience pretty much together. So
that's pretty cool.
That's a lot of skill. A lot of buttons with that. I know I'd mess that up real quick.
Real quick.
I'll put a plug in if you want to see not just the Luces, you want to see some of Allie's designs. Check out the Bison social media. We have one of the best accounts in minor league baseball, and there's some great graphical treatment there, whether it's the lineups or game today stuff, and that's all Allie's design. She does a tremendous job with her
I was
social media
already
as
on
well.
it.
There
I
you
was
go.
already on it.
So someone is just being modest, is what you're saying, Brad.
No,
Doesn't
I
want
do
to
do
say so much.
all the social media marketing, merchandise, all pretty much everything that has a design on it, I probably did. So.
Oh, nice. On that note of design, are we in the same room as the person who designed the Buffalo Wing logo with the celery and the baseball?
That no, that was before the pandemic when we
Okay.
did the Buffalo Wings.
Oh,
That was a previous designer who actually we run the events for Buffalo's Canal Side district as
nice.
well and waterfront, and so it's all part of we're together as part of what's called Rich Entertainment Group, owned by Rich Products, and Michelle Cicatello is that designer, and we've been fortunate to have a great designer over there as well. But she started at the Bisons a little bit before the pandemic.
Oh, nice. This is another logo that I love. I love food and I love sports, so like that's just another logo that I love.
Well, that was also a natural fit for us to be the Buffalo Wings. Obviously, most
Right.
minor league teams at this point have done a food moniker, whether it's the garbage plates in Rochester, salt potatoes down the road in Syracuse, and it was only fitting that we became the Buffalo Wings, being the birthplace of the chicken wing.
Oh,
That's so cute. I
I
love
want
it.
some buffalo wings right about now. That's pretty cool. So, Brad, talk to me, man. Like, I mean, listen, I know you said you started in broadcasting. Like, what gets you, like, excited to go into to work every day, right? I mean, because it's a tough job. Like, let's not mistake this, right? Working in baseball, while a lot of fun and great, it's still a tough job, right? Because you could be there 12, 15, 16 hours a day. You're there all day.
Yeah, it for sure. And when you now you're at 150 game season,
Right.
so it is a long season. But I'll be 100% honest. It's the team behind the team. As I mentioned earlier, our president has been with the team for 38 years. Our general manager joined the team 1 year before me. Our stadium, our restaurant guys, but was joined the year I did. Our sales guy, director of sales, Jeff Lundquist, joined the year I did or the year before. So we have so many people that have been there for 15, 20, 25, 30, some even 40 years. And when you go through those seasons and you have those highs and lows of the seasons, but you do it with the same group, it's really special. It's cliche, but it's the family. It's the family that you have at the ballpark, and then you get to work at a ballpark. You get to, after a long day getting ready for a Bison's game, and you got there at 9, and you place some ads for next week, and you whatever, you got the game notes done, and you did some interviews, and you planned some things out, and then at 7:05 you sit down in a press box and you get to look at what I feel is still the best ballpark in all of minor league baseball, the ballpark that really started it all, the Salem Field. Little ballpark history for you: was the first ballpark designed by HOK, which went on to design almost every major league park that's in existence right now. We were the first classic retro ballpark, seating 16,000. Just a beautiful ballpark, and you get to like Allie said, combine the things that you love between baseball and graphic design. Well, I was a stat guy, I was a baseball guy, and being able to do that with a great team, and I should say, not just the staff that's been there for 20, 25 years, but then coming out of the pandemic, and as lucky as I was to be able to hire someone like Allie and a few of the other team members who have only been around for 2-3 seasons and have bright futures in minor league baseball or professional sports ahead of them. We got a great thing going in Buffalo. We pride ourselves on doing the things the right way, and making sure that it's customer first, customer obsessed is what we say, and trying to make all those you treat every game like it's someone's first, and that's what we try to do, and make every game an event, and have fun. At the end of the day, it's fun. It's baseball. It's
I was just
meant
going to
to
say,
be
it's
fun.
baseball,
So
so
So your hardest decision might be how to discount the hot dogs or who to put on a bobblehead. We're not making life or death decisions. We get to have fun, and we have a product on. So when you can do social media and marketing for a baseball team as opposed to I don't know, a bag of chips or something else, you can have a lot of fun with it, and people enjoy our brand and our product, and it's great to be a part of.
Hey, you know, I'm still when I used to live in Ohio, we used to go to Toronto, and then I promise I'm tying this on, passing right past the ballpark, and I'm like, one day I still haven't hit it, but one day I'm gonna stop there because I got to get to that ballpark. I love how retro it is. And it's just so there's something about it so nostalgic that it's like that's baseball right there. When you hear the bats, when you hear the ball hit the gloves, things like that, and you see a ballpark like that, that's nostalgic. But let me ask you this, and this is something that I've been wanting to ask somebody since like after COVID happened, right? Your relationship with the Toronto Blue Jays. Obviously, we all know, trying to play there for a little bit and everything. How was that whole experience?
It was wild. It was wild. I mean, obviously, from the lowest of the lows to the highest of the highs. I mean, there wasn't much lower than holding that press conference on June 30th, I think the date was, and saying there's no minor league season.
Yeah.
And the timing of the pandemic, if you remember, hitting in March when everybody had spent the last 5-6 months gearing up for the season. We had all our promotions bought. We had our schedule laid out. All the ads were placed, and everything was ready to go. We're ready to go. I think we were the when it kind of like all kind of hit was like 2 days before we were supposed to have our fan fest.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, we're going to open the ballpark for the first time, and we got to shut it down. So that was a really tough time, and part of it too is we lost some staff members. Obviously, I think everybody did around that time, and to go from that to being able in a month to have Major League Baseball in Buffalo, and to give you a little background too on that. Buffalo does have Major League history. We were part of both the National League and the American League, if you go back far enough. And then in the early 90s, when we were drawing 1 million plus fans, setting minor league attendance marks, outdrawing major league teams, there was a strong push in Buffalo to bring Major League Baseball to Buffalo in the early 90s. And we were part of the final three, along with Denver and Miami, to get an expansion franchise. And it was the goal for a long time of our owners, Bob and Mindy Rich, to bring Major League Baseball to Buffalo. And sure enough, that became the Colorado Rockies and the Miami Marlins. And so we kind of lost out on that dream. So to bring Major League Baseball back in 2020, it had some significant meaning. For it was almost 100 years, over 100 years since Major League Baseball had been played in Buffalo. And then the following season to do it again, but this time to be able to have fans in the crowd and to be able to share Major League Baseball with the great sports fans. I mean, there's no better sports fans in the world, I'm sorry, than Buffalo, New York, and how passionate we are for our sports teams. To be able to have those games in our ballpark, and all told, 49 Major League games were played in Buffalo between 2020 and 2021, which was really, really a special time.
Well, I wish it would have been the Florida team would have never existed. As a Cleveland fan, I'm not gonna lie. We probably would have won the World Series then. But I'm not bitter or anything at all.
With a lot of former Bisons on that '97 team too. A lot of former Bisons on that team as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember that game.
But it's and we always, the Major League dream was a dream for a lot of people, including our owners. But fast forward, 20, 30 years. Minor League Baseball, man, it's the best. It really is the best, and to be able to have Minor League Baseball in Buffalo and give that to our fans, it's something we truly enjoy.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode with Allie and Brad. Now, make sure you guys are back next week as we finish our conversation. We go into the famous, not so famous questions, as well as some of the other cool things that the Bisons are doing right now. Before I go, make sure you guys are following myself and Val on all of the socials, as well as YouTube. on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, the Dad Hat Chronicles Sports Show. We'll go over some of the things that have been going on in the week, baseball, football, as well as other sports, and whatever comes to mind. On Thursdays at 9 p.m., Pat of the MiLB Hat History and myself, we are doing talking hats and other things. We just talk, man. We're talking about some of the new trends out there as far as the hat community is concerned. Okay. Again, guys, make sure you guys are back next week as we finish this episode. And until then, keep grinding and always support the minor leagues. See ya.
This podcast is part of the Curved Brim Media Network. Here are some of the other members of Curved Brim Media.
Hi, this is Kelly Robinson, the Minor League Nerd. My YouTube channel explores the history of minor league baseball teams. More than just stats, we delve into team lineage, sharing stories from current franchises to obscure one-year wonders.
I'm Paul Caputo, and on the Baseball by Design podcast, I talk to minor league baseball teams, designers, and other super interesting people about what these minor league baseball logos mean, and I talk a little bit about ice cream helmets.
What's up, Bucketheads? I'm Anna DiTomaso, and each week on the Baseball Bucket List podcast, I speak with a different fan about their favorite baseball memories, what the game means to them, and what's left to check off on their baseball bucket list.
Hey everyone, it's Eric from the great state of Kansas.
This is Johnny from the New Orleans Baby Cakes Memorial Museum.
And we are the Earn Fun Average podcast,
where we talk to a variety of guests about their love of baseball and have fun doing it.
America, lower your standards.
Average is what we do best.
This is Patrick and Corey of BaseballMapper.com, and we have made an interactive map to help highlight all baseball teams from the majors down to collegiate summer leagues.
We want to bring you closer to baseball. So get on the site and find a team near you today.
Hey guys, this is Patrick Larson from the Minor League Baseball Hat History Series. And in every episode, I go through the history of minor league teams through my personal collection of hats. You can find me on Twitter at @PatLarson1. I hope you guys enjoy.
Learn more about Curved Brim Media at curvedbrimmedia.com.